few seconds. So hopefully that will get itself together there. All right, let me see and go live. Save that. All right, go live. Go live. Let's see. All righty, I believe that that's good. I believe we're good. Can you see me over here on YouTube? Let me know. Yeah, back. That's weird. Can you see me? I'm coming. I see the. Of course, always something. Always something to throw me off right before I get on. Let's see. Go live? I can't go live? All right. No idea. All right. Well, all right. Guess we'll just be on Instagram for tonight. Hey there, TJ. TJ Sells Homes. How you doing? Glad you're here with me. Oh, let's see. Yeah, no, it's not working. What is it? Don't know. Oh, the technology. Connected. It should be connected. It should be going live. Everything is all connected over here. Oh, well. It will. I guess. Yeah, I guess that's all I can do. Oh, well. All right. So, I hate to just have you sitting here waiting on me. Hopefully you can still see on YouTube. I think maybe we can't see on Facebook, but you can see me on Instagram. So hey, Mulatto Beauty, glad you're here, girl. All right, having a few technical difficulties. It's not showing up in the Facebook group, but that's all right. I'll throw the video in there later. So hello, glad you are here with me for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know what I do. I am Love Coach Dasha, and I am here to help women who want to stay and reconcile after infidelity. Yes, it is possible. Yes, you can do it. Yes, I have done it. It is a difficult thing, no doubt. It's not one of those things that's just super easy. You have to overcome some trauma to be able to do it. You have to uh, experience some compassion and understanding and some growth of your heart that you may or may not be prepared for. However, it can work. You can feel better. You can feel closer. You can understand each other again. You can feel trust again. We have been working all this week on the Trust Issues Challenge in my challenge group. If you missed out on it, girl, you need to try and get in on it. You could still actually sign up if you want to, but we are coming down to the last day of the challenge tomorrow. We have been talking about all the aspects of trusting again, deciding to trust again. We have dealt with the fears surrounding that trust. What in the world happened that made him do this, and how we can actually make it so we can get our position to be where he probably won't do this again, getting the best possible setup for that to happen, allowing that healing to happen, allowing that wall to come down, and dealing with those triggers. That's what we have been doing in my challenge group all week. So if you have not joined me for that, there's still a little bit of time left. You can join me for the Trust Issues Challenge. It's in my bio over here on Instagram. It is everywhere on the page in Love After Cheating. So you can find it. Sign up, come on in, and you can still watch the videos. The videos will be up until Sunday if you want to do this for prizes, and Tuesday if you want to just catch up with what the videos are. So you got time. All right. So I'm always going to tell you things like that. I'm going to tell you ways to make this relationship better after the infidelity. It is a hard road. It is. It is a healing path. It really is. However, if you just get on it, if you just get on the path, if you just take a couple of steps on the path, I promise you, very shortly thereafter, things start changing. Things start happening that you don't even expect to happen. You get the best instead of the worst. When you're all afraid after the trauma, everything that happens, it's just bad. Everything feels bad. It keeps throwing itself at you. You keep on feeling like, oh, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. When you get on this healing path and you take a couple of steps down the healing path with your honey, what is going to happen is he's going to see that, oh my goodness, there was really a possibility for healing. He's going to start following you out down the healing path. You'll both get out faster. All right. You will both get to a happy place a lot faster if you just start along the path. And that's what I'm here to do for you. I'm here to help you start along the path. So if you have questions for me, comments, thoughts, you feel free to go ahead and ask those, and I will answer everything you got. Charmaine, you found me over here on Instagram. I see, I don't know what the heck is going on over there on Facebook. It just will not link up. So I think my streaming software was having a moment. It said that it was having a hard time connecting. So I work with what I got. I got lots and lots of ways to stream. The internet is a beautiful thing. I am still here for you. All right. Yeah, I know. I don't know what in the world was going on with it. And I still I couldn't make it hook up. So I'm here. I'm glad you found me. Good job. Hopefully everybody on Facebook knows to come on over here to Instagram if they can't find me. All right. Let's see. So of course, and Charmaine, I saw you ask a question. You know what? You're talking about anxiety, girl. We'll talk about anxiety the whole doggone way through. How about that? Because a lot of what I'm going to teach you about, the things that I show women on a day-to-day basis, have to do with conquering that anxiety, understanding where it comes from, but deciding that just because this is an automatic response that's like a self-protective thing doesn't mean that I have to live my life every day struggling under the weight of it. You can do things to make that anxiety calm down, get it to a better place, and then it's a lot easier to think. It's a lot easier for you to heal and be able to process things if the anxiety is a little bit better. You said that's your biggest issue is the anxiety. Girl, it was for me too. I had bad anxiety before I even met him. And then the cheating just brought it all back up again. So yes, I got tips about that. And the first one is the first thing we always do. Deep breathe. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been doing your deep breathing, Charmaine, when it's acting up? Me too. Yes. Have you been doing it? Let me know. If you've been doing your deep breathing, a lot of the time you can calm that anxiety down just with your breath. Your breath and your body are signposts about what's going on with you mentally. So if you are just experiencing a whole bunch of anxiety, your brain is feeling like you're in danger on a regular basis. What we have to do is take back over control of the body, start doing our deep breathing, and show the body and the brain that you are actually safe. You have time and space to be able to do your deep breathing. Nothing is attacking you, nothing bad is happening to you, and then it shows your brain and body that you can calm that down. I'm taking I'm taking that as you haven't been doing your breathing. You need to be doing that. That's why I say it every single solitary week, because people always forget. It's always the first thing I say. Every single solitary video, it's always the first thing I tell you about, but people forget it because it's so basic. But the thing is, if you're experiencing anxiety, if you are triggered, if you are feeling bad, you need to first get control over that breathing so that you can change what your brain is thinking and the input that you're getting. So do your deep breathing. First thing we're going to do 4-7-8 breathing. Now I do 4-7-8 just because it was a pattern that I could remember, but wasn't so easy that I would just like do it mindlessly. I had to remember, when I was switching from 7 to 8, for me, it was the one that worked the best. But there are other ways you can do it. You can do just repetitive numbers. You can do 5-5-5. You can do 8-8-8. You can do 5-6-7. You can do whatever you want as a pattern, as long as you are doing it on a regular basis. That's the whole point. Do this frequently. 5 times a day is a great start. It's going to start you off getting in control of your breath, which tells your brain that you're safe. Okay. That in and of itself, that does a whole lot of work towards your anxiety. All right. So what we're going to do is blow out, make the noise when you blow too. We're creating a trigger in our brain of every time we hear ourselves go, that is, I am calming down. I am in control of myself. I am safe. There is nothing around me that I feel like is a danger to me. And then it brings that anxiety level down. Blow out, and then we're going to inhale for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 7. And then we're going to blow out like we're blowing out an entire cake full of birthday candles for a count of 8. All right. Now, I will count you off. We're going to do it 3 times just because of time, but on my YouTube channel, there is a video that says start here and breathe. You can start right there, and I will walk you through the breathing all the way through 5 times. Okay. All right. So, gonna do our deep breathing. You ready? First things first, blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. I love it. Tell me how you feel when you're doing your deep breathing. How does it feel inside your head when you do your deep breathing? How does it feel when you're doing that? What you're doing is calming your brain. You are giving it fresh oxygen to be able to think clearly. You are helping yourself when you're doing this. You've just got to make the choice that you do it frequently enough that your brain catches on and says, oh, we're coming down. Oh, okay, I gotcha. That's what we're doing. All right. That's what we were going for. Just letting our brains calm down and get back in control. All right. We do not need to let our bodies just run roughshod over us. If we are controlling our breath, what we are doing is we are guiding our bodies and our brains to the behavior that we want them to do instead of the fearful behavior that this trauma has brought out for us. Okay, everybody with me on that? All right. I was trying to see if I could hook it up. It's going through my computer. It's going all wrong. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. All right. Anyway, second thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together is to do your journaling. Have you been doing your journaling? I need you to sit down and do your journaling. I want you to write down what is going on inside your head, all of the things that you're dealing with. And now, what is going on over here on Instagram? All right. The video just cut off. All right. Everything that you're dealing with, I want you to sit down, take your journal. All right. 5 minutes first thing in the morning, 5 minutes right before you go to bed. I want you to write in your journal. I need you to have some data, okay? I need you to be able to go back and flip a couple pages and say, okay, I see patterns emerging because I have written down the date and the time every time that I write. And I found out some things every day at around this time, such and such happens. Every night before I'm getting ready to go to bed, I'm anxious. You can find those things out if you're writing them down in your journal. If you do not journal, you will feel like you are keeping very good track of your healing, of the things that you are dealing with, of the things that you are letting go of. You are not keeping good track because if you are traumatized, your memory is not as good. It's very crystal clear for things that seem like a threat to you in the moment. But if you are traumatized, your long term memory is affected. So you will be trying to, let's say, trying to get all those answers that you want. And I don't want you doing that, but you're trying to get all those answers that you want. You're constantly asking these questions. You're getting answers and you're forgetting the answers because you're not writing them down. Because you're traumatized, your brain is like erasing some of the information that you've gotten during the day, and you can't keep up with that. So you've got to be writing things down so that you can keep up with what you've been talking about, what you've been thinking, what you've been feeling, the interactions that you've had with one another. So you can go back and you can see the reality of the situation instead of whatever the fear in your brain is screaming at you, saying is happening in the moment. All right. Does that make sense? You need evidence that it's not the way your brain says it is. Your brain will always tell you it's the worst possible case scenario because it's been traumatized. That's its job. It's going to tell you bad things once a bad thing has happened because we need to avoid a bad thing happening again. And if you are not careful, that overreaction takes over every aspect of your life. And that's all you're thinking about is something bad could happen. Got to avoid the bad thing. You never get to live your life. You never get to have any fun. You never get to open yourself up to new things because you're always afraid and shut down and isolating. It's very difficult to have a relationship like that if you've let the trauma isolate you to the point where you don't even want to deal with them. You don't even want to let the wall down in order to get close to them. All right. Does that make sense? Everybody over here on Instagram got me? All right. If you catch me on YouTube, I see somebody keeps popping in on YouTube. Hey. But yes. So you've got to start recording some of this stuff. Date, time, level of anxiety. Your level of anxiety is 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. All is right with the world. 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. It is a loss of control. If you are at a 10, you are not sitting down journaling. I promise you that. You may be throwing your journal. You may be screaming at the top of your lungs, but you're not sitting down with pen in hand thinking about what level that you're at. If you're at a 10, you will know you're at a 10. Just know that, okay? Don't try and make it be a 10 just because you're really upset about something. It's still probably an 8. It's still probably actually a 7. But if you're a 10, you're probably in the streets screaming naked. All right? Loss of control. All right. So, anything about journaling? Now, it does not matter. And if you come and join my trust issues challenge, you could win this journal. This one right here. It's lovely with the little zipper on it and lots of pages on the inside. You could win that if you win the trust issues challenge. I'm giving out journals and everything. All right. Next thing that we're always going to talk about every time we get together, because it's so important, is for you to be grateful. I want you to get a gratitude practice going here. I want you to really focus your attention on looking for things to be grateful for. That things that, because it's hard to be in a foul mood if you are in a grateful mood. If you are constantly looking around you, constantly seeing things that are good for you, that are good for your life, that help you every day, you will feel that gratitude and that pain and that anger start to shed because it's making room for a positive emotion that your brain cannot deny. Your brain cannot say that you are not grateful for the internet. It can't say that you are not grateful for having webcams. All right, it cannot tell you that because you know that you are fortunate for the things that you do have. So it's a little bit easier to get out of a miserable mood if you've been grateful. So I want you to be coming up with a practice of being grateful. So when you're here with me, it is Thirsty Thursday today. That is what I always want to collect up the good stuff. So whatever good happened for you this week, I see y'all over there on Instagram. I need y'all to come on, give me some good news to share for this Thirsty Thursday, because if you share that good news, if you acknowledge it, then you are reaching out to another woman that's here and saying, even though this painful, awful thing has happened, it does not mean that good things do not exist anymore. We can find the good things. The good things are still there for us. We can actually have that, even though there is pain now with this situation. So it shares the light. It shares the good things instead of us sharing the bad things. It's real easy when you've been hurt like this to share the bad things, right? It's easy to talk about it. You are very negative. You say lots of negative things. And then if you're in other groups, they say lots of negative things back to you. In our group, we try not to be like that. We try not to discourage one another and tell each other, more fear speech. We try and encourage one another not to do that. But in other groups, I see it all the time. It's a lot of fear speech. It is a lot of complaining, and then having those complaints mirrored back to you and say, yes, you're absolutely right for being angry and for holding on to it. And yes, you're right. You should not be healed just yet. And it doesn't really work to heal you. If it worked, I'd say do it. But it doesn't really work to heal you, because all of that negativity just plays havoc on your hormones. It raises your cortisol levels. It makes your body feel like it's under attack. And so as you are trying your best to heal, your body is like, no, we can't possibly heal. It's scary. Don't do it. And then you are being held back. And who wants to be held back? It keeps, the picture keeps going off. I keep having to hit the camera. I don't know what is going on. I'm not touching that at all. All right. All of the technology is screwy tonight, and it's not even my fault. This time it's not my fault. I had tested everything. All right. Yeah, it just did it. It went completely off. I had to press the video thing again. Is it coming back on? Am I still there? I don't know what's going on with my technology today. Nothing wants to work right. You with me? You can see me? Is it still going all right on you on Instagram? Goodness. Oh, all the problems. So if you got anything, if you're over here on Instagram with me, give me some good news. Give me some positive that is going on in your life. Okay, that's a good thing right there. I am grateful that you can see me. But give me something that you're grateful for this Thirsty Thursday. Think about the good things, the positive things that are happening, and we'll raise a glass to the good things that are going on in your life. All right. All right, next thing, for the fourth thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together, you might as well go ahead and start doing it, because I'm not going to stop talking about it, is to stop asking all those questions, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, you said the weather is getting better in Canada, Charmaine. I cannot tell you. I live in Virginia. If it wasn't warm here by now, I would be losing my mind. So I'm glad the weather is getting warmer for you. Oh my goodness. I cannot imagine that it's just now getting to the point where it's breaking in the spring for you. Woo! It's been a little warm here since like April 3rd. So I'm really glad it's getting warmer for you. That it's an excellent one for Thirsty Thursday. I'm so glad that good thing is happening in your life. I can't imagine. I am a spring baby. I I can't be in the cold. This is about where I need to be. This is the latitude and longitude that I need to live in. All right. But yes, okay, what was I saying? Stop asking all those questions. That was my thing. I want you to stop asking all the damn questions. Stop asking all those damn questions, okay? You gotta stop. I know that your brain is telling you that you cannot heal unless you ask the questions. I am here to tell you that your brain is lying to you. It is not collecting that information to help you heal. Nay, nay. It is collecting all of that information so that every time you make a step towards healing, your brain hurls one of those things, those answers at your head and makes you remember, oh, well, he wasn't trustworthy the last time. Oh, he hurt me the last time. Remember when he said this? Remember when he did this? It is giving you reasons not to heal. Your brain is lying to you. It is not trying to help you heal. It is trying to help you be isolated. It does not want you to heal. It does not want you to reconnect. It's saying that that is a dangerous thing to do, and we should not do dangerous things. So we're just going to avoid it. And you're going to make like being in a relationship into a phobia for yourself. So we've got to stop that. We cannot allow that to happen. It is not cool. It will change the way your brain is functioning. Okay, so we've got to stop asking those questions, hurting ourselves for absolutely no reason. Your brain will tell you that the reason is because that's how you heal. It is not how you heal. The things that I'm telling you to do, you do, not get from him. Because that's what it is with asking the questions. It is, oh, well, I must receive my healing from him. Okay, that's a lot of responsibility to put on somebody who has not been very responsible with your healing, with your heart lately. Okay, we're not even going to set ourselves up for failure like that. We are going to do our own healing, and then we can link back up with them. So we got to work on the things that we can do ourselves that will heal us, and then the relationship works out. Does that make sense? Be with me. So, asking all those questions, I know that it is an itch in your brain. I know that your brain demands those questions be answered because it is the way your brain works on trauma. Your brain wants to find out as much information as it possibly can. Just like if there is a spider in your room, you track that bad boy, don't you? You are watching it cross the ceiling. You're watching it go down the wall. And the second you lose track of it, your brain says, we must get up. We must find out where the spider is. We must have more information. It's the same type of thing. You're treating him as a threat, trying to get as much information about the threat as you can. And you got to stop treating him like that in order to stop feeling like he's a threat. Does that make sense? Give me some likes and love if that makes sense to you. But since it is an itch in your brain, I understand that. So give you something better to do. This is the and THEAND. I've been using this for years now. This is 199 questions. I give y'all like 3 every week. I have been going through this whole box. I don't think I've ever made it through every question. All right. It is an excellent game. You deal out a couple of cards, 2, 3 cards. You don't even need a whole bunch of them. And you can ask each other questions, and that starts conversations. And that's what you're really craving. With this information exchange, you don't want to know about what happened with the affair. You don't want to know about that. Not really. You want to feel connected. Because they had an affair, you feel disconnected. I didn't know something about you. I was not aware of something about your life. So in order to fill that gap, this is a better way to go about it. Okay. Find it on Amazon. It's about $30. The whole store, they got a whole bunch of different games for long-term couples, mothers and children. They got a whole bunch of them. So you can find one for your particular situation and sit down, deal out a couple cards. So let's see. This one says, when do you feel I failed to communicate with you? And what effect does that have on us? See, instead of asking him a question about him and his affair and what was going on, you're asking him to tell you something about you. Ooh, right? Isn't that better? Isn't that better? Don't you want to hear more about your relationship with him than what he was doing in an affair? It makes better sense to me. It seems like a thing that would be better for you, is to find out what was going on in his head when it comes to you instead of when it came to some random broad. All right. Another question. How can I help you more? Isn't that an excellent question? In that, don't you want to know what the answer is to that? Isn't that a better answer? Wouldn't that be a better answer than any of the answers that he could possibly give you about the affair? About how he was feeling, what he was thinking, what he was doing? Wouldn't it be better for you, more informative for you to know how can I help you more than it would benefit you to know any of those things? Right? And one more. Let me spread out all over my desk. What seed in me do you now see sprouting? Oh, I don't think I've ever come across that one before. I have these cards like spread all out on my desk. I'm always doing doing a set during the week. So like I never know. I'm like I got different piles of them. Like okay, I did those before. I did these. So I got a big stack over here. I don't think I've ever come across this card before. What seed in me do you now see sprouting? Wouldn't that be a wonderful conversation to have? Wouldn't you want to know what in you he sees sprouting and coming to life and becoming? Don't you want to know that? Isn't that better answer than any of the stuff that you want to ask him? Right? I think so. So instead of asking all those questions that are gonna tear you down, gonna make you feel bad, gonna make you feel awful about this whole situation, ask good questions. All right. Okay. So that's gonna bring your anxiety down, right? Well, I told you we was gonna talk about anxiety the whole time. Your deep breathing is definitely going to help your anxiety. Your journaling will help your anxiety because it will help you to figure out what you are anxious about. Like, what really is it? Because sometimes it'll be layers to it. You'll think that it's this thing, but actually, it's something that has to do with something completely different. You could be triggered, like something he did triggered you about something that has happened in the past that didn't even have anything to do with him. You will be able to figure that out, uncover the layers of the triggers of the anxiety if you start to write it down. Okay. And then being grateful really helps with anxiety, unless you're just paranoid that you're going to lose it all. But it's very hard to lose all the good stuff in your life. You could be homeless, but that doesn't mean you lose everything. You know what I mean? Like it just depends on the situation that you are going through. So you could lose some of the things that you have right now, but you would still have things to be grateful for. So that's what you tell your anxiety when your anxiety is like, but I could lose this. Be like, yeah, but there's plenty of other things that are good that are in our lives that we can still have, even if we lost this one thing. You can worry about the one thing if you want to, but there's so many other things that could be positive forces in our lives if we just go ahead and let them be. All right. All right. Anything else about what else do you want to know about dealing with the anxiety? We can go through the dreams formula and talk about the anxiety. We sure can. Anxiety, first of all, of making the decision to be with this person. You got the outside people who would tell you, oh no, girl, you should kick him to the curb. You shouldn't be with him. You've got that voice inside your head that is freaking out, that's saying that you should never have to make a decision like this. Why in the world are you even choosing to be with somebody who cheated on you? Because you've heard that information so often from other people. But there's somebody for everyone. Okay. I'm a firm believer in that. I believe in the magic of love. I do. I am just one of those people. I believe in fairy tales. I believe that this is my story. I believe with my full heart that I am the queen of this story. Okay. I don't think that we should have to give up on our story, our fairy tale, our happy ending, just because other people say that we shouldn't make that decision. When I first started being presented with this, when all this happened and I was talking to people and I'm like, I want to work it out. How do I get past these feelings? How do I get over this? How do we continue this relationship and have a good relationship? And everybody was like, oh, you can't. Oh, no, absolutely not. You can't do that. It's impossible. Once a cheater, always a cheater. He's always going to cheat on you. You're always going to be a doormat. You need to let him go. And I was like, I don't believe that about this story. I don't think that that's the story that I'm living. When I met him, it was pretty damn magical. I don't know. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I caught the bouquet at my cousin's wedding. And first of all, that was like magic because I barely even reached for it. I just put a hand up and it smacked me in my hand. A month and a day later, I met my husband and he like took my breath away the first time I heard his voice. So, like, I've always believed that this was a magical love story, that we were going to work through the hard things, we were going to come through the conflict in the story, and we were going to get to our happy ending. And everybody was telling me that I was wrong about that. And I was like, you know what? Seriously, fuck off, because this is my story and my happy ending. And you can't tell me that I can't have my happy ending. I'm a kind of stubborn chick, okay? And that's what happened. I got stubborn about it. I was like, you're not going to tell me that I can't have the love that I want, the relationship that I want with the person that I want. I have believed in fairy tales my entire life. You can't tell me now that you're going to show me my person and I can't have them. That's insanity. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to do it. And so, maybe that's why I'm the best person to tell you about this, because I am stubborn about it. I believed with all my heart that I was able to make that decision for myself. And then as soon as I did make the decision and I started standing on it, you know what I'm saying? I started standing on it. Yes, I did. Yes, he did cheat. Yes, he did. There was a point in time where he was so manic and he had a chick living with us and people were asking me about it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm the queen and this is his playmate, but yeah, I understand what's going on. I'm in control here. Don't you worry about me. And I had to be like that. I had to stand on that decision that we were going to work things out. It was going to work out no matter what, and we were at no matter what because she was living with us, so we were there. That's the main thing. Your decision is making that decision for yourself, deciding that that's what you want to do. If this is your love story, if this is your person, you shouldn't have to give them up. I feel the exact same way as you do. I don't feel like that's fair at all. You shouldn't have to. And if you don't want to, I have every answer in the book about how to stay, how to work it out anyway. Okay. Got the R of the situation is recognizing and then overcoming that fear speech. All the stuff that goes on in your head, all of the doubts and the fears, and where is he and what is he doing? And does he really love me? And is he cheating? All of that is fear speech. It's all from the trauma. It is what goes on in your head after you've been hurt by somebody else. The thing about that is it will echo back to you from other women who have had the same thing happen because the fear speech is all the same. So it sounds like when you're made this decision and you hear that fear speech from other people, it sounds like the voice of God. You're like, oh my God, how do they know how I'm feeling? Maybe I shouldn't have made this decision. But the thing is, that should be comforting. Everybody has the exact same fearful thoughts going through their heads, too. All right. That is not what's going to stop you from working this out. It is not going to interfere, and it does not make it a divine intervention. It doesn't mean that, this is absolutely correct and you should not be in a relationship and you should back away and isolate yourself. No, it does not mean that. It means that everybody has the same fear reaction and everybody has the same thoughts. All right. That's all that it means. And you get to decide from there if you're going to listen to the fear or if you're going to listen to the love. That is what your choice is when you're dealing with those fearful thoughts. Do I listen to what the fear says? Do I do what the fear says? It's making me super uncomfortable. It's making me a squirm in my seat. It's making me think too hard. It's making me clench my jaws. Do I want to follow that feeling? Or do I want to follow peace and love and forgiveness and understanding and compassion and openness? Which one of those do I want? And I think what you want is the love path, right? I think that's what you want. I think you would like to get to your happily ever after with your boo. So we got to choose the love path Every time we are presented with the fear, every time the fear wants you to talk about it, every time the fear wants you to get an attitude, every time the fear triggers you, you've got to fight back tooth and damn nail against that reaction. You can fight back against anybody else. I want you to fight back against your own negative thoughts. All of those fearful thoughts, they are not necessarily true just because they are universal. All right, that makes sense? Evaluating the why is the next step. Trying to deal with the anxiety of why did he do this? A lot of that time, the anxiety from that is he just doesn't love me. He just doesn't love me. He never loved me enough. I just wasn't good enough for him. All that type of stuff, and none of that is even it. It's actually downright selfish. What happens when you get cheated on? You believe that everything that he did was about you. Now, it may be based in you. You may have sick and sad and stupid as the three categories. Sad might be the relationship seems like it's failing. You seem like you're a foot out of the door. We haven't been having sex. It could be part of that, but that's his own sadness, his own loss, his own grief, and not you that is responsible for that, if that makes sense. So, sick, sad, and stupid. Those are the three categories. If you can understand, if you can have some compassion about those three things, and understand that he is in pain just like you are in the pain of that anxiety catching you by the throat. If you can recognize that he feels just as bad as you do, you can feel a little bit of compassion for him. It makes you feel a little bit easier about trusting again and letting down the walls. So sick is all kinds of illness, mental illness, physical illness, addiction, hormones, all sorts of things can cause your body to be different. And that usually has effects on our behavior. I was a nurse for over 20 years. You will have people who never did anything weird, never did anything out of line until they got sick. As soon as they got sick, they were out running around cheating. All of a sudden, like it was like the thing to do. It happens because when we have changes in our bodies, we are not at our best. We are thrown off. We are faced with mortality. We are thinking about what will happen if something happens to us. And sometimes it's even before you know that you're ill, you will feel inside you that something is wrong and you will be searching on the outside for things to fix that. And saw it many, many times as a nurse. People end up doing the wrong things because they're ill and they're trying to fill that space, trying to fill that void, that emptiness, that pain, whatever it is they're feeling about their illness, trying to fill it out. All right. Sad, like I said, some kind of loss. If they lost a pet, or if they lost a family member, or if they lost who they thought they were supposed to be. A lot of the time with men, especially when they hit middle age, they have this crisis about the man that they thought they were supposed to become. And if they look around at that age and they're like, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, they feel this incredible sense of grief and loss about not being in the right spot for their particular age and for where their frame of mind is in that moment. Lots of different things can cause that feeling, but you know what it's like when you have a loss. You look around for something to fill that space, and that's what ends up happening. You feel like maybe I can fill this space. Maybe if I have sex, maybe if I connect with somebody, I can fill this space. And a lot of time that's just trying to use somebody to make yourself feel better, and it really doesn't work. Then there is the third thing. It is stupid. Not necessarily what you think it is, okay? Stupid has to do with the stupid things that men and women are told about being in relationships with one another, about the stupid things we see between couples as we're growing up. My husband has uncles that took him to their girlfriends' houses. He was staying with his aunts, went to their girlfriends' houses. Who do you have as a role model and what did they do? And a lot of men are trying to live the lives of the role models that they had, the men that they did know. But now, as they're older, these men are older. They're looking at their lives, and if you look at their lives, chances are they don't have a relationship. They don't have the things going on that they want to have going on. So they have modeled their behavior after who they grew up with, who they were supposed to model their behavior after, but didn't ever show them a good example. So now you're headed down that path to be alone and lonely in your old age instead of being linked up with your family, with your wife, with happiness and contentment and connection. They are going down a bad path. Seeing your father cheat on your mother, mother cheat on your father. If you can understand where he is coming from, the things that he has been taught, the things that he has grown up hearing and ingesting as a person on this planet, if you can have some sympathy for that, if you can have a little bit of compassion for that, it will help you feel less anxious about opening yourself up to them again, because they're hurting too. They are hurting. There is something going on within them where they are hurting just like you are. And if you can get to that level where you're like, I understand that you are hurting too. That's why you hurt me, because hurt people hurt people. I can get that. I can connect with you on this level and understand that you didn't mean to do this to me. It was just an effect of the pain that you have going on in your life. So think about it, think about it from your perspective. What is going on with him? You probably know better than he does. You are probably much more clear about the things that led up to him feeling like cheating is a good idea, even though we all know cheating is a bad idea, right? Everybody is aware of that. But whatever pain he was going through led his brain to the mental gymnastics that, oh, well, maybe if you cheat, you'll feel better. And it happens to a ton of people. It does. It happens when people are thinking about cheating back. When women have been cheated on, they're like, I'm going to cheat back and make you feel how I feel. That's the same thing. I'm in pain, so I am going to take something I know is wrong and I'm going to do it anyway because I think it will make me feel better. That's the exact same thing he did. So that's why it's no need to cheat back, because you're validating his reason for cheating in the first place if you cheat back. Just so you know. Right? So we've got to reduce the anxiety around just having that compassion for him, understanding where he's coming from, understanding that he's got pain just like I do. He is struggling on this earth just like I am. Okay, I can understand that about him. I can give him forgiveness and understanding and compassion. I can open my heart back up. And that leads into the next thing, allowing the healing to happen. That's the next step. Big time anxiety about that, because up until now we have been behind a wall. We have been safely ensconced behind whatever kind of wall it is. There is a theory. If you think about the wall that is around you, think about what kind of material it's made out of. Like the more impenetrable it is, the stronger and harder your wall is. It's going to be a longer time to get it down. If you think of it as like, I think of it as like a waist high, like fence at this point, with big stones. It's not even like, it's with big stones and mortar at this point. It's looking like a hobbit hobbit town type of thing. But it used to be a huge like brick wall in front of me in my imagination. So in your imagination, what does that wall look like? Is it a big smooth steel structure that stretches into the sky and completely blocks out the light? Is it like a fence but with vines and stuff woven through it? Some people have that kind of image. So think about it. What kind of wall are you trying to bring down? If you are thinking about it like that, using that for your anxiety, that will help. As you are decreasing in your anxiety, you will be able to see that wall changing in your imagination. um Allowing the healing to happen is just doing the things that you would do if you were happy with him. Do the things that you would do in the relationship with him. If you would have what did somebody say today in the challenge? be smiling more. She said she stopped smiling at him and she stopped reaching out for like casual physical touch. If you know you're doing that, if you've been holding back on that, if the fear is saying you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't reach out for him, you shouldn't smile at him, he shouldn't have any smiles from you, he might think that it's all right to cheat on you if you smile at him. If the fear is shouting at you not to do it, you should do it. All right. If the fear is saying no, don't do that, that will make you closer to him, it will make you closer to him. So go ahead and try the things that you used to do that you stopped doing because of the pain, because of building up the wall. That's the simplest way to explain it. And that is an anxiety producing thing to do. It's scary to allow yourself to do the loving actions again. Terrifying. It is opening yourself wide up, open. You are saying, I'm giving you the opportunity to hurt me again. I, even though you probably don't deserve my love and my affection and all the good things that I'm doing for you, I'm still going to do them for you because I love you, because I want our relationship to be okay. And it's opening yourself up to heartbreak again. And doing it makes you brave. And even though it's a lot of anxiety to start it, you can usually get really good feedback when you start doing those things that you used to do when you were happy. It starts to make you feel better and it starts to make him feel better. And then he starts trying to jump on to doing the things that will make you feel better. So it will work out in your favor, but it's just scary to start. All right. So you got to recognize that you are anxious about it, but still say, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it anyway. I want this life. I want my happily ever after. This is how I want to behave in my relationship with him. So that's how I'm going to behave, no matter how scary it is. When you do that, you start well down the healing path. He sees you on the path. He tries to run and catch up to you on the path. All right. And then let's see. Managing the future triggers, that's the M, is thinking about you're going to be triggered because the trauma happens. It is designed into our brains that things that in our senses, in our sight, in our smell, in our touch, in our taste, in our feeling, tell us information that looks sort of like something that happened when the trauma happened. It does not have to line up. It does not have to be the same. It can just remind you of a thing. Do you see somebody's blue car, and it's not even the same as a blue car, but it's a blue car with something messed up on the bumper. And she had a blue car with something messed up on the bumper. It's a different bumper, but I remember her because of the thing that I saw. Or I'm in this elevator and all of a sudden this woman gets in and she smells exactly like the perfume that the other woman had on. And I bet you anything, it's actually not even the same perfume because perfume smells different from person to person, but you will think that it's the same thing. It will remind you of that scent and then it brings you right back into the trauma. So what we've got to do is start paying attention to when we are triggered, how do our bodies feel? And when we're triggered, it's an anxiety attack pretty much. So there's certain key things that happen. There's tightness around your forehead and your temples. You can clench your jaw. You can draw your shoulders up. There's tension in your neck. There's tension you might clench your fists. You might ball up your toes. The people have the tension in their butts. People will do that when you're having full panic attack, like their butt is clenched the whole time. And then their legs are exhausted when they have finished the anxiety attack and they don't know why. There's feeling like something is like grabbing at your throat or crawling up your throat, feeling like your heart is pounding out of your chest, feeling like your ribs are going to separate because you can't breathe well. In your stomach, solar plexus, feeling like you're going to throw up, feeling nauseated, feeling like there is cramps in your stomach. So many things, getting sweaty. All of those things happen when you're having a panic or triggered reaction. So you've got to first figure out where that happens. If you can look at your body and every single solitary time it is a feeling right here, or it's a feeling right here, or it's a feeling right here, you know when you start to have that feeling, oh, this is what it feels like when I'm triggered. Okay. And then we can look around and be like, what the heck just triggered me? And you can figure out what it is a lot faster if you just pay attention to your body. And when it starts to have that reaction, you pay attention to it. Your body will know before your brain does that you are triggered. And that helps with the anxiety all the way around. If you can recognize when it's coming and anticipate that it's coming and tell your body and your brain, hey, I know that this thing may trigger us, but for real, I am safe. Everything is fine. You start telling yourself that ahead of time. You can start heading off of the panic attack, heading off the trigger reaction. That once you figured out like what it is that happens, then you got to flip that around and then, okay, well, what do I do once it happens? All right. Lots and lots of good things that you can do when it happens. I was telling them in the group, in the Trust Issues Challenge today, drink some water and just hydrate yourself. A lot of the time, you will feel better and you will know what to do if you just give yourself some doggone water. Stop being so dehydrated, okay? Especially if you drink a lot of caffeine, you don't have enough water. And so then your brain is kind of foggy and then it makes you feel even worse when you're having these triggered reactions. Eat some food on a regular basis. Don't let the anxiety, the motility of your gastric system slowing down. Don't let that slow you down from actually eating something. Smaller meals is fine, but you need to be eating because you need calories to heal. That's what you need. Those. That's what to heal your brain, to heal this damage that has gone on. You need some calories, energy units to work with. All sorts of good stuff. Do some aromatherapy. Look, I didn't have it earlier today, but this is a little jar of flowers from my garden from that's what you call it, lavender, and just a little, oh goodness, a little bit of lavender. Squeeze the little buds in between your fingers and smell that. Oh my goodness, it makes you feel so relaxed. Put a little bit in your shower before you get in there. You will feel better doing a little aromatherapy. Lots and lots of things that you can do, but make a plan for what you think is going to make you feel better when you're triggered, and then carry that plan out. But don't let it be, oh, you need to go to him. All right. Because he's going to let you down. All right. At least the first few times. All right. He's not going to mean to, but you're going to be triggered and emotional. And he is going to be like, well, what do you want me to do about that? I can't fix that. And you're going to be pissed. Okay. So let's cut out the middleman and not go to him unless you have told him ahead of time, hey, if I'm triggered, I am going to come to you and I'm going to say, hey, I need a hug. I need you to wrap me up in your arms and hold me tight until you feel me relax. Can you do that? Will you do that? Ask him ahead of time. And then when you come to him and you're triggered, and you're saying, hey, remember I asked you about that? You said, yes, you will do that. All right, I need you to do that. Tighten me up here. Hold on to me. Hang on to me until you feel me start to breathe slower, relax my body, all right? And make him do that. Don't go to him and expect to talk it out and feel better. You're not going to feel better talking about a trigger. Talking about a trigger is talking about trauma in the moment where you're kind of traumatized. It's not helpful. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make you feel any better. And that will help with your anxiety. If you got a plan with him and he is willing to do the thing that you ask him to do, and he does hold you and he does keep you nice and safe and snug for a little while, you've learned that you can trust him to help you with a trigger. Even though we're not going to go to him first, we're going to work on trying to get ourselves calmed down without enlisting his help. However, you know that you can get his help when you need it. And then the last thing on the formula is seeking support. You got to get with somebody who will tell you to calm the hell down. Right? If your anxiety is bad, you need somebody who is going to be calm with you, who is not going to sit there and hype up all your fearful thoughts, who's going to doubt your decision. You don't need that person. You don't need the person who's going to be like, I don't care what happened to him. I don't care what's wrong with him. He shouldn't have cheated. There's something wrong with him. And there's something wrong with you if you stay with him. You don't need that person. Okay. What we need is the person that is going to link up with us, who's going to tell us, hey, you can let that wall down. Oh, hey, you were acting triggered. Let me help you with your deep breathing. That is what you need. You need somebody who's going to stay calm with you, to walk you through it. All right. Help pull you down off the ledge, help it so that you don't go to him and continuously be going to him, saying to him, I don't trust you. I don't feel good about this relationship. I do not feel happy. If you consistently going to a person that you're supposed to love with that, what else are they supposed to think except for that it's not going to work out? If somebody kept coming to you and telling you how bad you made them feel, and it's not going away, and you were just still so stressed out and so afraid and so mistrustful, you're going to think the relationship is over, right? So we can't keep going to them with that. You've got to find somebody else who you can talk to. If it's friends and family, God bless you. I hope that you have friends and family that you can talk to who will support you. But if you don't have that, you got me. You do have me. You hit me up. Come be in one of my groups. Get your support. We help a lot with the anxiety. My After Infidelity Mastermind. That's a lot of what we do, is dealing with the anxiety, trying to regulate those emotions, and then start working down the healing path so that you are gathered up, and then you are making intentional moves towards healing. And then all of a sudden, as you are doing that, you start getting good results. And it is much, much easier not to be anxious because you're seeing results. You're like, oh, I did X and I got Y in return. It is much, much better when you start down the healing path. When you got somebody to help you down the healing path, you start to feel better. The relationship starts to go better. Right? So I hope that helps for the anxiety part, right? If there's anxiety in every situation as far as healing from this, but the good thing about that is that every opportunity, every time you get anxious, it's an opportunity to overcome anxiety. It's an opportunity to do something that makes you a little nervous, makes you a little scared, which helps you grow. And it teaches you that you can feel that discomfort and it's not going to stop you. And that makes you unstoppable, babe. It does. When you realize that the anxiety is just a feeling and it's not actually a brick wall, and you absolutely can get through to the other side, even if you feel it. Ooh, you feel super powerful. You really do. And that sheds a lot of anxiety for you too. Because once you recognize how powerful you are, then it's hard for you to still feel all anxious about everything. All right. All righty, y'all. Y'all got any questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything you want to talk about? Looking up here, seeing if there's any questions. Gotcha about the anxiety, Charmaine. Tell you, we just talk about that the whole time. And there's a lot of anxiety talk to go around after you've been cheated on. But there's a lot of room for growth with that. There's a lot of room not to be anxious anymore. I am not anxious about anything anymore, really. I stay very calm about things now. If I learned to be not anxious with that situation, every other situation is like, it ain't that big a deal. Like, you've learned that, you know what? It's not that bad. I'm all right. It'll be okay. So once you get to that point, once you've started to heal and things are starting to go well, and you recognize how much power you actually have, whoo, that anxiety goes away real quick. All right, y'all. Anything else? You're so welcome, Charmaine. Yes, the hug idea, it works. It works because you don't have to explain anything. You can just say, hey, I am doing a new thing. And when I feel a little triggered, I'm just going to come to you. I'm not going to talk about anything. I'm just going to expect you to wrap me up in a big old hug. Just hold me tight and hold me until you feel me relax. Don't just let me go, because I'm going to be tense when I come to you. When I come to you for that, I'm going to be tight. You're going to be able to feel it in my body. I want you to wait. Just squeeze me tight to you until I relax, until you feel my body relax. until I'm breathing in sync with you and slowing that down, until he will be able to tell. He'll be able to feel it in your body when you go and just release it. He'll be able to tell. At that point, you will be in a better place, and chances are he'll have held you for about 20 seconds at least by then, and that gets oxytocin flowing, and that makes you feel all tender and loving towards him, and makes him feel all tender and loving towards you. So good things all around with the hugging. All right. Oh, I can't wait. Come back and tell me how that went next week. All right. All righty, y'all. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for today. I will be back again next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. And you know what? It's affirmation time. Remember, with affirmations, we are counteracting the negative thoughts that we have in our head about ourselves. All right. And everybody that has gone through this is always having the negative thought of, I'm not enough. I wasn't enough for him not to do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. It's just not enough. All right. First of all, you ain't got to be enough for anybody but you. Okay. I don't know where the idea, I think that was the patriarchy, came, that we had to be enough for these men out here. We ain't got to be enough for anybody else but ourselves. They're not trying to be enough for anybody but themselves. So why should we keep on trying to be enough for ourselves and for them? That's too much. But either way, I'll give you an affirmation for that. I said in the Trust Issues Challenge this week, I am loved and I am worthy of love. All right. That's what I want you to be saying this week. When you are feeling like you are not enough, when you are feeling like you are unloved, I am loved and I am worthy of love. All right. Look yourself in the eye. Say it like you mean it. Say it like you're saying it to your best friend and you want her to believe you. Okay. All right, y'all. That's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I guess the streaming will be right next week. Had it right last week. Now again, this week is acting up, but I don't care. It'll be fine. Hopefully it'll be all straight next week. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. If you have questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, you can definitely message me and let me know. And if you still want to get in on the Trust Issues Challenge, on Instagram, it's in my bio. On Facebook, it's in the top of the group. So go and sign up for the Trust Issues Challenge if you haven't. It's good stuff. Lots of lessons on how to trust and how to maintain it. So I'm here for you, giving you good free information now. Come on, join in. All right, y'all. That's it for me. Thanks so much. I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you for doing this. And I will see you again next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, Instagram. And video. And bye over here on YouTube, and it was trying to be Facebook. Bye.